returns to Bawku following imposition of curfew by Interior Ministry and ban on wearing of smoke fuel
bunkering in Ghana and Togo's territorial waters is the new form of illegal trade for cartels.
And more than 268,000 doses of AstraZeneca and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines at risk of being destroyed in Namibia due to slow uptake by citizens. Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour live on GBC News, your News and Governance channel. We are also live on GTV and streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Michelin Taka.
My name is Clara Mlano. Jonathan Intemda interprets the news into sign language.
The news in detail now. Calm has returned to Bawku and its environs following the imposition of curfew by the Interior Ministry on Wednesday.
The Apam East Regional Coordinating Council has also banned the wearing of smoke in Bawku to prevent criminals and unscrupulous persons from concealing weapons in them to cause mayhem. Earlier, we spoke to our correspondent Samuel Ayama for an update on the situation.
The situation is a little bit good now in Bawku. Just this morning, the two sides, the Mampusis and the Pusasi youth, they had their press conferences, and all of them, they underscored the need for residents in the area to embrace peace. So as we speak, there is calm in Bawku, but this morning there were gunshots again in the township. But as we speak, the security authorities, they have beefed up the security personnel in the area. So as we speak, the presence of security in Bawku Township has increased. The personnel, the police and the military, they are there in their numbers, making sure that they protect lives and property. The businesses can picked up now. There is tension in town. It's not that well with the town as we speak because of the gunshots. People fear to go about attending to their businesses as we speak. So it is going to affect the economic activity seriously in the area because most of the women there, they are in the market selling, and some too, we have one of the biggest animals markets in Bawku, that is the Karayama market. These places, people fear to go there because of the gunshots this morning. So it is not easy for residents living in Bawku as we speak, but the police and the military, they are on the ground protecting lives and property.
The whole airport in the Volta region was set to commence commercial operations in April 2021 after test runs were conducted. The construction of the whole airport began under former President John Mahama. The whole airport project, valued at $25 million, was completed in 2018. It has a traffic control tower, a runway, a waiting area for over 1,000 passengers, and a bus terminal, among others, and an automatic fire detection system. Volta regional correspondent Jones Alima earlier visited the airport to observe activities there.
We sincerely apologize for the lost in sound. We bring you that story again. The Commercial Court 7 Division of the Accra High Court trying the founder and chief executive of defunct Capital Bank, Mr. William Atuesian, and two others adjourned sitting on Thursday morning following a letter from the accused person's doctor informing the court that Mr. Asian is suffering from a sleep disorder. The accused person was expected to continue his examination in chief after opening his defense on November 4, 2021 in the matter in which he and 2 others are standing trial on the 23 charges including stealing.
In court on Thursday morning, the trial judge, Justice Eriche Bafo, a Court of Appeal judge sitting as an additional High Court judge, informed parties to the case that he had received a letter from one Dr. Rex Kwame Bunso of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital informing the court that Mr. William Atu-Essien was suffering from obstructive sleep disorder known as sleep apnea. He said the letter also stated that the accused person's blood pressure is fluctuating. Justice Bafo was concerned with the accused person but said the situation was not enough grounds for him to be absent from court. Again, the court raised reservations about the snail's pace approach adopted by the accused person in his defense. The court then instructed all the accused persons to file their witness statements as well as statements of witnesses they intend to rely on in court, or in the alternative, if any of the accused persons intends not to give a sworn testimony but a statement from the doc, they are to indicate same and file those statements before December 7, 2021. Mr. Essien is facing 23 counts of conspiracy, stealing and money laundering. The rest are variously being held for abetment of crime. They have, however, denied the charges. Mr. Atu-Essien, a majority shareholder of Capital Bank Limited, Tetaneti, Managing Director of MC Management Services, a company established by Mr. Atu-Essien and Fitzgerald Odonko, a former managing director of Capital Bank, were admitted to bail in the sum of 200 million cedis each, setting continuance on December 9, 2021.
The National Youth Authority has a number of planned youth center programs in the 2022 budget. At a briefing in Accra, the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Mr. Pius Hadije, said the core of the budget is on the youth. He mentioned the Youth Start initiative, which is expected to have funding of up to 10 billion cedis in the next 3 years, will create jobs for more than 1 million young people.
From statistics, Ghana's youth employment rate stands at 12.6%. Also, underemployment among the youth stands at 50%. The figures, according to the government, must drop. The National Youth Authority says since 2017, the government has engaged more than 1 million youth in the various sectors. In the 2022 budget, the Finance Minister said the budget seeks to roll out a number of initiatives to further create more jobs for the youth in the country. Mr. Pius Hadije, the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, said the Youth Start initiative in 2022 budget holds a huge potential to create jobs.
The Youth Start initiative is an initiative under the Ghana Cares program which will create employment opportunities for 1 million young people in the next 3 years. The initiative will support the training, funding and promotion of the businesses of young people to make these enterprises commercially viable.
On the electronic levy, Mr. Hadije said the authority supports the introduction of the e-levy proceeds, from which will be used for youth-related programs.
The proceeds of the levy will be used, amongst others, to fund the many programs for employment of the youth that I referred to earlier. As young people, we must therefore ensure, for our own sake, that this levy is instituted.
Mr. Hadije also mentioned the Job Development Program, the Skills Development Program, and the ICT Capacity Development Program outlined in the 2022 budget as initiatives purposed for job creation for the youth.
What we have before us is a budget that prioritizes the interests of the Ghanaian youth. It is a budget that goes beyond mere lip service and invests in providing the necessary resources for the youth to be trained and establish their own businesses.
The whole airport in the Volta region was set to commence commercially operations in April 2021 after test runs were conducted. The construction of the whole airport began under former President John Mahama. The whole airport project, valued at $25 million, was completed in 2018. It has a traffic control tower, a runway, a waiting area for over 1,000 passengers, and a bus terminal, among others, an automatic fire detection system. Volta regional correspondent Jones Alimar earlier visited the airport to observe activities there.
The hope was that the commercial operations will have started at the whole airport after the test run in April this year. But then, as we talk now, there are no commercial runs or flights to and fro from the airport. So there are no commercial operations at the whole airport as we talk now. In April this year, the management of Africa World Airlines undertook the flight to the whole airport. And we were told back then that the test was for purely technical purposes. Officials of the airport also described the test run as a success, which was going to inform their next decision concerning the commercialization of the airport.
Smuggling of petroleum products is on the rise at Aflao in the Ketu South municipality of the Volta region, where fuel bunkering on the territorial waters of the country and Togo has become the new form of illegal trade for cartels. On a working visit to the Aflao border, the chief executive of the MPA, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, urged the various security agencies to collaborate to combat the menace before it gained ground. The official stormed a hideout where illegal fuel is processed, usually in the night.
Presently, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, which has the mandate to regulate activities of the downstream petroleum industry, has not licensed any oil marketing company to import crude or refined oil through the country's land borders. Prior to the fuel bunkering activities in Ghana's territorial waters of the Ketu South municipality in the Volta region, smuggling of refined fuels into Togo through the several unapproved routes along the eastern border of the country was rampant. When the chief executive of the NPA, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, and other officials visited the Aflao border, heads of the security agencies, comprising officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Immigration Service, Ghana Police Service, and the Ghana Navy, said they are challenged due to the sophisticated nature of the illegal petroleum trade by a cartel. The chairman of the Aflao Border Security Committee, Assistant Commissioner Mr. Amandi, who is also the Aflao Sector Commander of Customs, however, stated that they have intensified their operations.
I believe a whole ship of fuel, if it gets to the beach, that fuel can vanish in 30 minutes. A whole tanker of fuel, if it gets to the beaches, I'm not exaggerating, so I'll call upon my colleagues, we should stand up to the task.
Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid was not enthused when he later visited a storage facility where the illegal petroleum products are processed for distribution on the Ghanaian market.
We have a duty to ensure that illicit fuel smuggling is stopped completely.
He urged the security agencies at Aflao to combat activities of the cartels, saying it would be difficult to stop them when their illegal activities become well established. The heads of the security agencies pledged to work hard towards combating the illicit trade.
It's been a week of free flow of traffic since the government announced a halt in the collection of toll at the various toll booths across the country. Our Tema correspondent Michael Dewonu, who was at the Tema Toll Plaza, reports that there is still free flow of traffic while heavy-duty trucks have taken over the toll booth.
You are aware, after the reading of the budget, the Minister for Roads directed that tolls be suspended immediately and traffic has been flowing. And so that is how the situation has been like. Before I came on, I just spoke with Mr. Al-Hassan Adam. He is the supervisor for the Tema Toll Plaza. And he's telling me that after they came out to pour out their frustration with regards to what is going on, nothing has happened so far, and they are still appealing government to come to their aid. There is no any engagement between them and government so far. After the 1st November directive, some Babugoya drivers used the motorway, and we spoke with them. They said they have not heard, and so the Greater Accra Regional also moved into action, bringing some passengers on the road. Some 12 people were arrested, and since then I have monitored the situation. I have checked the situation on the motorway, and hardly do I see Abuboya on the.
Did you know that the stars and the planets are believed to have an influence on human affairs? A person's character and disposition, as well as romantic relationship compatibility, are linked to the person's time of birth. In other words, a person's interest, behavior, success or failure in marriage or career are said to depend on the day that person was born and the alignment of the heavenly bodies, such as the stars and the planets at that time. This body of knowledge comes under an ancient concept called astrology. A subset of astrology is the horoscope, which is basically the predictions of a person's future and circumstances or events in the world. Astrology has been with the world for more than 2,000 years. While some strongly believe in astrology, many others are skeptical and dismiss it as a myth for various reasons. An astrologer, Dr. Osei Tutu, was in our studio earlier today to help us accept or reject this old age phenomenon.
Astrology is a topic of, it's a subject on its own, and it's a science of stars, and horoscope is a subset of astrology. We have more than millions of stars, but under astrology, we only have 9. Which has a great influence on us on this planet. It has a great influence on each person concerning the zodiac sign. Like we have 12 signs. We have the first sign to be called Aries. We have Taurus, we have Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. These are the 12 signs under the horoscope. And the first sign starts from March 21st, where the orbits or the planets start from the Venus equinox, the equinox vena. Yeah, so when it starts from the equinox vena, it starts from March 21st, then it ends at April 20th. That's the first sign of the zodiac, and it's called the Aries. So there are practical characters and a lot of things that may let us know or that reflect on someone born under this zodiac sign.
Still in the local segment, the Apam Senior High School in the Central Region has a new gate at its entrance. Funds were pooled by the 1985 group and constructed as its project to say thank you to their alma mater.
Apam Secondary School in the Central Region was established in 1953 at Paddles Plains, a suburb of Apam. From humble beginnings under a cocoa shed and oak trees, the school was relocated to its present site in 1960 under the management of Reverend DeGraft Johnson as a day school. With a current population of over 1,000, with 63 teaching staff and 48 non-teaching staff, the school runs programs including general arts, business, science, home economics, visual arts, and agricultural science. And Apam SHS is not without challenges, but all students of the school have over the years continued to support their alma mater. The latest is the construction of a gate at the school's entrance by the 1985 year group. A member of the 1985 year group, Mrs. Joanna Eskinataja, urged the students to take their studies seriously.
We are giving it back to our school, our alma mater. We have not taken our education lightly at all. With all seriousness, we made it, and we plead with you students to take your education serious and be committed to the purpose for which your parents have brought you here, and for which we as all students are investing back to the school.
The board chairman of the school, Nana Obukumata, called on management of the school to ensure proper maintenance culture. He reminded them that COVID-19 is still a clear danger, and so safety must always be a priority.
So we'll do something. Okay.
A summit on the development of northern Ghana is underway at Chirapa in the Upper West region. The summit is expected to come out with pragmatic measures that will help bridge the development gap between the north and other parts of the country.
The Northern Ghana Development Summit is a platform instituted by the Northern Development Authority (NDA) and civil society organizations led by Star Ghana Foundation. This year's summit, the third in a series, is focusing on accelerating development of Northern Ghana through investments and partnership. The CEO of the Northern Development Authority, Mr. Sumaila Abdurrahman, said it is unfortunate that the northern part of the country is still lagging behind in spite of several interventions by government and development partners. The executive director of Star Ghana Foundation, Mr. Ibrahim Tanko, stressed the need for the summit to produce ideas to push the transformational agenda of northern Ghana.
What should government of Ghana prioritize in the transition to Ghana to fully harness northern Ghana's development potentials and opportunities? The second question was, what necessary actions need to happen to properly resource the transformational development needs of northern Ghana? The third, what role should development partners play to enable northern Ghana assume its rightful place as a critical player and contributor to Ghana's development?
A former president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas, called for the introduction of entrepreneurial education to equip the youth with employable skills to reduce the unemployment rate.
Another summit that we may need, working of course very closely with educational authorities, will be the crisis of education in the north. What can we do to arrest this decline? Maybe we'll wait to see the results from this year. But if the results from this year are a repeat of what we saw last year, then something very special needs to be done.
A communique is expected to be issued at the end of the summit.
The government is pursuing a number of reforms to realign the country's educational system through digital formats. For the Education Ministry, this will enhance teaching and learning effectively in all institutions. The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend John Intim Fojo, announced this in Accra at the inaugural ceremony of the Association of Educational and Instructional Technologists Ghana.
Technology is literally running the world.
It keeps us connected to one another through electronic devices and social media. The world sees technology as a viable means of enabling large numbers of students to access education. These innovative ways of teaching has simplified lecture delivery, making it interesting and effective. Established 2 years ago, the Association of Education and Instructional Technologists Ghana is a non-profit entity. Its authority is to improve and transform teaching by way of using modern technological designs in the educational arena. For the association, all must embrace the new normal to improve access to education without borders. Dr. Josephine Labiapao is the president of the Association of Educational and Instructional Technologists Ghana.
We are seeking to advance the use of technology in tertiary education and, of course, at all levels to effect access and quality. We seek to advance professional and personal development of AEITG members and to adhere to professionalism in the execution of all duties and mandates.
The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend Ntim Fojo, said his ministry is all for collaborating with the association to promote digital education in the country.
The essence of educational and instructional technologists and men and women who are innovating and creating the tools and the platforms that will give us the opportunity to deliver learning in the 21st century way must be encouraged and supported.
The body was inaugurated with the theme, E-Learning, the role of educational and instructional technologists.
Ever wondered the phrase, quotes, you don't know what's happening in the Dodowa forest, unquote? In today's series of Tour Ghana, we will take you to the historical and proverbial Dodowa Forest Reserve located in the Shai Osudoku district of the Greater Accra region to know more.
It's about 2 hours drive from the capital city Accra to the historical and proverbial Dodowa Forest Reserve. Dodowa, a town located in the Greater Accra region, is a district capital of the Shai Osudoku district and about 39 kilometers from the capital city Accra. The notable tourist sites found in this town is the Dodowa Forest. The historical and proverbial Dodowa Forest Reserve serves as a boundary between Dodowa and Obosomasi communities. The forest reserve does not only hold environmental significance, but also has a special place in the history of the country. It is on record that it was in this forest that Gadangbe warriors fought off Ashanti forces in August 1826. History has it that the then Asante Hene Osei Yawakoto, furious at the Gadangbe for aiding the Fantis in the Samanko War of 1824, proposed to punish them. The British, Dutch and Danish forces, altogether not more than 60, aided in the war with new weapons. The battle was set and proved to be the greatest battle ever fought in West Africa. The Katamanso War, also known as the Battle of Katamanso, is the only known and properly documented war between the Accra people and Ashanti in recorded history.
They were doing business with the whites on gold trading. So as they wanted to attack, they attacked the what they call the Kitas. The Shahs helped the Kitas defeat the Asantis. And later on they turned from here to the Fanti. They went and fought the Fantis, and the Shahs went there to go and help them defeat the Asantis again. So later they saw that no, it was the Shahs who have been breaking their defeats. So later they have to come and then attack the Shahs, that was in Dodowa or the Shahs traditional era. So after attacking the Shahs also defeated them totally. And this is where they defeated Asantis totally.
The Dodowa Forest has since become a heritage site. Ever wondered the origin of the phrase, you do not know what is happening in the Dodowa Forest? What purpose does the Dodowa Forest serve? And is it true that anyone who entered the forest never returned? Curiosity took the better part of me, so I decided to take a tour of the forest reserve. This is the frontage of the historical and proverbial Dodowa Forest. Myth has it that no one returns upon entry to the forest. Curiosity, they say, killed the cat. we're taking a trip into the Dodowa forest. Please join us. First, I contacted the Seche, or stool father of the Numeshi clan of Dodowa. He accompanied the news team to the forest. At the entrance, he places a leaf and makes libation. The forest is endowed with many tree species including teak, mahogany, wawa and odum, and some animals including birds and poisonous snakes.
This forest is not for sharks alone. Now, all of us have to one and protect this very forest.
This forest, which has great economic potential, has been left unprotected. Almost half of the 300-acre forest has been encroached upon. Encroachers have put up various structures at different stages of completion deep in the forest. What was even more troubling was some of the buildings were already occupied. This structure is a church. The Shai Osudoku Traditional Council says it has petitioned the government to intervene. They say the forest reserve will become extinct if steps are not taken to halt encroachment. Ghana needs its vegetation cover. As such, forests such as that of Dodowa need to be protected.
Now, the government will soon put up junior high schools with facilities comparable to senior high schools across the country. This is to enhance the teaching and learning of science, mathematics and innovation. The Sector Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, said funds have already been set aside for the project.
You walk across the length and breadth of this nation, you walk into junior high schools where there are no libraries, no science lab, no computer labs, and we still tell the good people of Ghana this is a high school. We borrowed this concept from the United States of America, where junior high schools and high schools are not on the same premises. But in each of those situations, each high school or junior high school have the same facilities. We never did that. Nana Kufuor said we should reverse that trend and that we should build new junior high schools that have all the elements of a high school. So after 3 years of lower secondary education, you can go to upper secondary education, be equipped with 6 years of quality education. And this budget has allocated potential funds for it. I say potential because we have to come to Parliament and get an approval for the loans and the grants that is going to be used. I've heard some colleagues of mine talking about this budget belongs in the dustbin, but I believe this budget will belong to the National Education Hall of Fame when one day we build it. We talk about 5 STEM universities, 5 STEM universities, so that all those new regions without universities will also claim a university. And when I hear some colleagues talking about their constituents have told them never to vote for this budget, and if they vote, they should stay in Accra.
Still to come in News Hour, business, health, energy, sports and entertainment. To stay.
The 65th Council meeting of the African Organization for Standardization, ASO, has opened in Accra with a call for urgent harmonization of standards to support the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
The government of Ghana, through the Ghana Standards Authority, is hosting the 65th ASO Council meeting. The three-day gathering comes amidst calls to accelerate the harmonization of standards in the region, which is seen as crucial to increasing intra-African trade. Representatives of the ASO member states are discussing efforts to remove technical barriers to trade in Africa. It is the first council meeting since the General Assembly elected the Director General of GSA, Professor Alex Dodu, as the president of ASO.
Le rôle central que le Ghana a joué.
Ghana played a critical role in the realization of the AFCFTA. So we are meeting today to help accelerate the harmonization of standards to speed up the economic integration.
The chairman of Ghana's Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Mr. Carlos Ahinkra, urged member states to improve their standards regime.
I urge all national standard bodies in Africa to ensure that their laws and policies are modern and are aligned with WTO and ASO standards in order to boost intra-African trade. Once our quality policies are in line with the Pan-African quality policy, and once we use African standards, we will automatically reduce several barriers to trade and improve the ease of doing business on the continent. Of course, this will improve African industry and create wealth.
The Secretary General of ASO, Dr. Hermogene Nsengimana, said the heterogeneity of African standards has undermined cross-border trade. He called for close collaborations to remove the obstacles. The three-day council meeting will end on Friday, November 26, 2021.
The Association of Ghana Industries has commended governments for reversing the benchmark discounts on selected products in the 2022 budget. At the 61st annual general meeting of the association in Accra, the president of the AGI, Dr. Yao Idujemfi, said the policy ran counter to Ghana's industrialization agenda.
Government efforts towards establishment of the development bank is timely, because access to medium and long-term capital and cost of credit have become our dominant challenges. It's very unfortunate that we were not considered to have a representative on the governing board of the Development Bank, but we hope the government will revisit this in the future and consider a representation of AGI on the board of the Development Bank. It will help us to be able to explain our challenges to the government as a whole.
These were the words of the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Yao Idujemfi, on how the establishment of the Development Bank would lead to a cheaper cost and easy access to credit for the business community. At the 61st AGM of the association in Accra, the association cited the dire impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the high cost of credit as a bane to the development of industries in Ghana. A Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Mike Ochibefi, called on the private sector to take advantage of the trade agreements and policies made by governments in order to rake in the needed revenue for the country.
Repositioning our local industries at this critical time of our development must be a clarion call for all stakeholders of our development agenda and revolves around key issues such as firm level intervention, which involves governance structure, succession plan, etc. Appropriate policy interventions to enhance competitiveness, leverage the use of ICT and artificial intelligence to improve productivity.
The chief executive of the AGI, Mr. Seth Chum Akwabwa, said for businesses to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area and be competitive, governments should put measures in place to reduce cost of power to industries, trim down interest rates, and promote access to long-term funding for industries.
Let's have the interbank and commodity figures for the day. That was Business, brought to you by MTN and Whirlpool. Thanks for watching.
In a world where you can be anything, who will you become? When you can go anywhere and never be alone, how far will you go? When your voice can reach every ear in the world, who will you inspire? When your money can travel faster and further, who will it reach? When you can tell a story in every language, which one will you tell? When you don't need permission to turn your dreams into reality, you go for it. Whatever it is, wherever it is, go. And when you think you've reached your limit, we'll keep you going. Let's go.
Hi guys, today we are coming to you live from the new home of one of Ghana's